Hey everybody, this is Ted Chuck, recovering reporter. So here is a headline from the New York Post that is not surprising at all, but also it's actually disappointing. New York Times editorial board member says it's silly, quote unquote, for journalists to hold Harris and Trump equally accountable. So let's take a look a little further here. New York Times editorial board member Mara Gay says it's, quote, a little silly for journalists to hold Vice President Kamala Harris to the same standards as former President Trump. Gay was a guest on Thursday's Morning Joe, where the eponymous MSNBC host bemoaned the sacrosanct wall between editorials and news when it comes to the presidential candidates, adding how absurd it was to believe there was a moral equivalency between criticizing Trump and Harris. Gay agreed the choice is obvious between the two, suggesting there needs to be a different standard applied to Trump. I think the challenge, not just for journalists, but really for the country, is that not only is Donald Trump a threat, but it lowers the bar. So I don't think it's unacceptable. And I think it's important for our role as journalists to really push every candidate for office. Okay, so what she's saying here is fine for editorials and columns and op-eds. It's not acceptable for journalists, for people who are writing news articles. Okay, what she's talking about here is not true journalism. If she is talking about applying it to reporting, to news reporting, if that's what she's talking about, if she's not talking about opinion pieces, then that is not representative of true journalism. True journalism is objective, fair, and accurate. That means you treat everybody the same. You do not do what she's talking about here, pushing one candidate over another and applying different rules for different candidates just because you personally believe that one candidate is better than the other. A different standard applied to Trump. No. As a reporter, as a journalist, you apply the same standard across the board to everybody. That's what journalism is. But apparently it's not what's being, and this is Mara Gay right here on MSNBC's Morning Joe. This is reprehensible what she is suggesting, if in fact she is suggesting that. And she goes on to say, it's just the context is difficult because of the extremism of the Republican Party, because of how extreme Donald Trump is. It's hard to hold both candidates accountable equally, because one is committed to democracy and is functioning as a normal candidate from a normal American party, and the other is not. See, there's everything that could possibly be wrong with that sentence right there is wrong with that sentence. We can pick it apart right here. Who is to say that the Republican Party and Donald Trump are extreme? Somebody else could look at the Democrat Party and Kamala Harris and say they are extreme. See? It's hard to hold both candidates accountable. Well, tough. As a reporter, it doesn't matter how tough it is. You need to hold them accountable equally. That is the bedrock of journalism. One is committed to democracy. Now, we know that the word democracy has been weaponized by the left, by liberals. So here she is just kind of dropping into that. She is succumbing to using, and it's low-hanging fruit. Oh, we're going to use democracy. We are the paragons of democracy. And one is committed to democracy and functioning as a normal candidate. Again, who's to say that Kamala Harris is a normal candidate? You can talk to people across the country, and many of them will say she's not normal, whatever normal is. They will say they don't like her, and will list any number of reasons. She's the border czar when she says she's not the border czar. She's talking about how she's going to improve things when she's been in office for 3.5 years and things haven't improved. You can go on, and that's what people will tell you. Normal candidate from a normal American party, and the other is not. So Mara Gay's biases are leaching through to and she's part of the editorial board of one of the most, or maybe formerly most, respected newspapers in the country. So, like I was saying, I'm couching this because it's possible, I'm hoping, that maybe she's just talking about editorials and op-eds and columns and things like that. But if she's talking about true reporting, which I really hope she isn't, this is not representative of true journalism. And there needs to be a correction here. We need to return to true journalism. Truly, if this is why readership and viewership across mainstream media is hemorrhaging, is cratering, because of an attitude like this. You're going to tell the American people how to think and what to think. You're going to abandon critical thinking. What you're doing is you're saying that the American public is dumb, and that they're not smart enough to make decisions and to think critically for themselves. That's not true journalism. Is you lay everything out there for people and you let them decide. Maybe they do more research. Maybe they conduct their own investigation. Maybe they read other articles. But you lay it all out there for them and they decide. Journalists are the chroniclers of history. They are the modern day historians, and they're not there to inject their opinions. As a reporter, you take your opinion and you set that aside, and then you play it straight and you write it straight, and that's the end of it. So this is a terrible thing. This is reprehensible what Mara Gay is saying. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll talk to you later.